now. Hello, everybody. So today I'm joined by Michelle Jones from SAA, who is going to talk us through some of the frequently asked questions that you might have in relation to exams, which are being released Monday, the 21st of June. And we're also joined today by Aoife Gleeson, who will be the incoming Vice President of the Students' Union. So who will be taking over the reins once I finish my term of office. So Aoife will be starting on Monday, and she'll be there. She'll be the first point of contact for you guys in the union if you have any questions in regarding your exams. So we're going to start off today by asking just some of the questions that you might have, general questions in relation to exams, and Michelle is going to talk us through what you can do and what it means for you when you receive your exam results on Monday. So we'll kick off, first of all, I suppose, by asking, how can first years access their results, Michelle?
Hi, Laura. Thanks a million for having me. I suppose just before I get started and answer the first question, just throughout the conversation, I will be throwing out loads of links and various pieces of information, but I'll provide all of this in writing to you, and you'll be able to post it up for everyone to have. So they don't need to be worried about writing down links as we chat through. But in relation to first year students accessing results, so guys, as you'll know, you used the Unity platform to register for your modules in autumn and spring, and you used it to access your results in autumn, and you'll be doing the same again this semester. So first year undergraduate students and students on the LINK program who registered on the Unity system will access their spring semester results by logging into Unity at the link www.register.mic.ul.ie from Monday the 21st of June. Students logging into the Unity system. In order to log in, you need your username, and your username for the Unity system is your MIC student email address, and you need your network logon password. And this is the password that you use to access, for example, your student email or Moodle. And then when you log into the system, you click on the results button on the home page screen in order to access your results. Unfortunately, and this will be the same for students on the SI system, we cannot provide results over the phone or by email because the college is obliged to protect the confidentiality of results under the Data Protection Act. And that's why students need to access their results themselves in person.
Yeah, brilliant.
Brilliant. So Michelle, how do other years access their results?
Okay, so for returning undergraduate students, so second, third and fourth year students, and for all postgraduate students, they can access their autumn semester results via the MIC results server. And again, this is from Monday, the 21st of June. And the link for the results server is www.results.mic.ul.ie. In order to access their results on the MIC results server, it's essential that students know their network logon password. So again, this is the password you use to access your student email or Moodle, etc. Okay. However, there is a second way that students can access their results, and this will be a little bit later in the day. So from the late afternoon of Monday, the 21st of June, again, undergraduate students, second, third and fourth years, and all postgraduate students can also access their autumn semester results via their updated transcript. And this is located on the SI student portal, which is www.si.ul.ie. So for any student who is used to going in and checking their transcript, this is exactly the same system, but it will not be available on the morning. For the initial check of your results, you must log into the MIC results server, okay? So students who wish later in the day to log into the SI student portal, they will need their username. And in this case, it's a little bit different. They need their MIC student ID number is their username. And you need your MIC SI student portal password, which is separate to your network logon password. If you can't remember your portal password or it has expired, that's no problem at all. Simply send an email from your MIC student email address to pinreset@mic.ul.ie, and SAA will reset your portal password for you and you'll be able to get access then.
And Michelle, just a quick question on that with the passwords. Is that the same for the SI system so if a student forgets their password, is that across the board? It's pin reset, that's the one email that they need to go to for each password? Or is it just to access their transcripts?
Yeah, this would be if a student wanted to reset their SI student portal password only, they'll email pinreset@mic.ul.ie. So if a student, for example, wants to log into the Unit E system, or they want to log into the MIC results server, so that initial login early in the day, and they find that their password isn't working, that means that their network logon password isn't working, and the reset for that is slightly different. So if you've forgotten your network logon password, you can reset it via a link, and I'll send that to you guys, and you'll be able to post it up for the students. It's passwordreset.microsoftonline.com. And there's another case, if your network logon password has expired, there's a separate link. And that's adconnect.mic.ul.ie. So the best thing to do, I suppose, is if you have any difficulty with your password, the first thing to do might be just to check the notes that come along with this interview, try to figure out which password isn't working for you, and then follow the links or instructions provided. And it just gives you a starting point, because I know it can be confusing. We have students on Unit E and students on SI, and we also have students who are logging into the results server in the morning and perhaps the SI portal in the afternoon. And it can become very frustrating, and we completely understand that. And SAA are here to help you. So feel free to reach out. But the PIN reset email address is for the SI portal password specifically.
Perfect. And sure, we'll have all the links at the end of this or underneath this video, so students aren't confused on which password, or if you've forgotten different passwords and which link is for which one.
Exactly.
It can get confusing, of course, but we'll have all the information here for you guys. And then, Michelle, the difference between repeat exam and I-grade. So that's one big question that students usually have. Oh, I've applied for an I-grade, I've been accepted my I-grade, but what's the difference between an I-grade and a repeat exam?
Okay, so the two primary differences between an I-grade and a repeat exam is that, number one, an I-grade is not a capped repeat. So if a student is clearing an I-grade, they can attain any grade within that. There's no cap on it. Whereas a student who is engaging in an annual repeats are capped. So that means the student can only achieve a maximum of a C3 in that particular module. The other major difference, I suppose, is that there is no repeat fee in respect of a student clearing an I-grade. So there's no fee at all attached. If you've been granted an I-grade, you can clear that free of charge. Whereas there is a repeat fee at present of €172 per module in the case of a repeat examination. So if a student is awarded an I-grade, the student must liaise directly with the lecturer in relation to clearing the module, what is required. And I-grades must be cleared by the end of the annual repeat examination period of the academic year in which they're granted. So it's just, I suppose, for students just to know just the slight differences between the two.
Yeah. And then with I-grades, if there's a student now that's thinking, oh my God, I think I've had, some extenuating circumstances and I should have applied for an I-grade. Is there kind of any leeway with them kind of students now that if they feel that they should have applied for an I-grade, but now they didn't, and they're thinking, oh my God, what do I do now? Is there a provision in place for them students?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the deadline for applications for the I-grades for the spring semester, it has now passed. The closing date was Monday, the 24th of May, and the committee met on the 25th of May. However, if there is a student who feels that they do have very genuine extenuating circumstances that they need to reach out about and that they feel would warrant an I-grade, we would advise them to submit an application form immediately to Lisa Leahy at lisa.leahy@mic.ul.ie, and every effort will be made to consider the application, even though the deadline has passed. We will make every effort. If a student is applying for an I-grade at this stage of the academic year, and given that the deadline has passed, it's vitally important and essential really that they provide supporting documentation alongside their application form if they do wish to apply.
Okay, that's great.
So if a student isn't happy with their results, what can they do?
Okay, so there's a number of avenues open to students if they're not satisfied with their result. So if a student believes that one or more of their grades is incorrect, they have the option to view feedback available on Moodle, would be, I suppose, their first port of call. And this is available after the release of results. So we'd say to students, please don't go to look for it before the release of results, because it'll only be available after the results are released. If they need clarification in relation to the feedback provided, they should contact the relevant lecturer over that module. For students in the Faculty of Arts, if feedback is not being provided on Moodle, students can complete and submit a relevant survey for alternative viewing of feedback on assignments. I'll provide the link to that survey. And the online application period is from Monday, the 21st of June to Thursday, the 24th of June. For students in the Faculty of Education, feedback is generally available on Moodle. And if they have any difficulty accessing that feedback, they should email the Education Office at educationoffice@mic.ul.ie. So requested feedback will be made available then to students on the following dates. So it'll be Tuesday, the 29th and Wednesday, the 30th of June. The relevant faculty offices will make the feedback available to students. And we would advise students to please ensure that they access the feedback when it is made available on those dates. And if you're still dissatisfied with the grade at that point, you do have the option to have a grade rechecked.
Okay, and how, Michelle, would a student apply for a grade recheck?
Mm-hmm. And applications for grade rechecks for the spring semester, they can be made between Monday, the 21st of June and Friday, the 2nd of July. In order to apply for a recheck, a student must complete the online application form. And again, I will provide the link to that and we'll post it up after the interview. But it's mic.ul.ie/rechecks appeals fees. The recheck fee is €25 per module, but this is refundable only if the grade is changed as a result of the recheck. So, and it's important for students to note as well, I suppose, when they're applying for a recheck, that a grade can be raised, it can remain the same, or it can be lowered by a recheck. Mm-hmm. So I suppose just for them to consider, yeah, exactly, just to be aware and to be confident that they wish to have it rechecked.
Yeah.
And students will be notified to their college student email account once the grade recheck decision has been finalized.
Brilliant. And then if a student isn't satisfied with their recheck, is there anything else they can do, or?
Yeah, again, there are further options open to them. So if a student is not satisfied with the outcome of the grade recheck, they can appeal the matter. So the appeal application, that must be completed and submitted within 2 weeks of the publication of the recheck result. And the fee per module is €50 for that. The application will be forwarded to the department head responsible for that module. The appeal should include, so if a student is filling out an appeal, and again, I'll provide all the details for completing that form. But if a student is completing this form, they need to complete a full and complete statement about why they believe their grade awarded is incorrect. So simply stating that you deserve a better grade, while a student will fully and certainly believe that is true, it's not a full enough, I suppose, descriptor for the application. So it's in their best interest to provide a really full description as to why they feel that the grade is incorrect. I would advise students to refer to the student handbook for further information in relation to that.
That's great. I suppose then on Monday when results come out and students are looking at the results and they see, unfortunately, there might be an F grade beside their module or whatever it may be, what do? I mean, some students might they might be expecting it, but what can they do, or what will they be contacted by somebody, or what's the process when a student fails an exam?
Yeah, of course. And again, if a student fails an exam, it's like the rechecks. There are lots of options open to them. And I suppose the first thing we'd always say to students is please don't panic. And also to say that SAA staff members are here to support students. They're not alone. It won't be the first time that it's happened to somebody. And you know, there's always an avenue for students and advice available to them. But in general, if a student fails either one or more exams or assessments in the autumn or the spring semester, they can avail of the annual repeats in the summer semester. But we would have to note that a student can only clear a maximum of 4 deficient grades during the annual repeat examination period. And that excludes I grades. Okay, so 4 deficient grades excluding I grades. Students who have deficient grades in the autumn or the spring semester, they'll receive an action report letter. And this will provide them with the options available to them to enable them to clear their deficient grades. Students who can avail of the annual repeat process will be able to register for annual repeat modules from Wednesday, the 23rd of June to Wednesday, the 30th of June. First year students and students on the LINK program, they will register for their annual repeats modules on the Unity portal as they registered for their modules in autumn and as they registered for their modules in spring. Returning students, so 2nd, 3rd, 4th years and all postgraduate students, they register for any annual repeat modules using an online form. And again, I will provide the link to that form and you'll have it underneath this interview. If you failed an examination in the autumn semester and you want to seek further advice that's specific to your particular situation, we would encourage students, please do reach out, and you can reach out to SAA, and that's at saa@mic.ul.ie. And that will be, I suppose, particularly if you're an arts faculty student. If you're an education faculty student and you want advice specific to the education faculty, your first port of call would be the education office email, and that's educationoffice@mic.ul.ie. And we will endeavour to provide you with all advice that's specific to your particular situation.
Brilliant. So you mentioned earlier that you have all the links to the forgotten passwords, but if you log in and you still can't see your results, is there a reason for that might be, or?
Yeah, and I mean, there can be a couple of reasons. And I mean, we always find that the morning of the release of results is obviously, you know, it's a really exciting time for students. It can be a very stressful time for students. And when they experience technical difficulties, you know, it can be very frustrating. And the first thing we'd say is don't panic. And again, there's avenues to sort the situation. So if you log into either the Unity portal, if you're a first year student or a link student, or the MIC results server, or the SI student portal later on in the day for returning students, and you can't access your results, there might be a technical issue that's preventing you from accessing the portal, or perhaps there could be a fee flag that's on your account. And if a student has a fee flag, unfortunately, that prevents them from accessing their results. So what I would say to students is, in the first instance, if you can log into the Unity portal, if you can log into the MIC results server or the student portal, and you can't see your results, or if you can't log in, if the login just won't work for you, in the first instance, contact saa@mic.ul.ie, and we'll check if there's either a technical issue or a fee flag that's preventing you from accessing the results. If a student has a fee flag and they know that that's what's preventing them from accessing the results, they will need to liaise with student fees. So the best thing for them to do is to contact student fees at studentfees@mic.ul.ie, and they can liaise personally then with student fees in order to regularise their own situation. And once their account is regularised, they'll then be free to log back in and to access their results.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for that, Michelle.
No
now,
problem.
I suppose this time results, especially for the final years who will be leaving us, it's time for them to get their degree and what degree they're going to be awarded. So I suppose, how will final year students know by looking at their results or their QCA what degree they've been awarded? Or will it tell them straight away, or where can they find this out?
Okay, so in relation to final year results, final year students, they will access their module results from the MIC results server in the first instance. And as I mentioned earlier, they'll be able to access their updated transcript in the late afternoon or early evening on Monday, the 21st of June. So what we would encourage them to do is, for each graduating final year student, if they log in to view their updated transcript on the MIC student portal that evening or in the late afternoon, the degree that they will be awarded will actually be printed on their updated transcript at that point. So we would advise students, if they can, to wait and view the award listed on the transcript in the late afternoon on the 21st of June. The reason we would advise that, I suppose, is that there can be students who will fall into what we call discretionary bands. And in that instance, looking at their QCA, it mightn't be immediately apparent what degree they're awarded, whereas the transcript will show the correct degree awarded. And so it might be the safest thing for them to do. And I know it's hard for them to wait those couple of hours, but it will give a very clear picture of the degree then that they have been awarded.
Okay, so they'll see their degree awarded on their transcript late in the afternoon. That's the best time for them to access it. Perfect.
Exactly. It's listed towards the top of the transcript where their own personal details are. I believe it's on the right-hand side. They'll see it quite clearly. And if they've any questions or queries, at that point, they can, of course, contact saa@mic.ul.ie, and we can deal with any individual queries on a personal basis, no problem at all.
Great stuff. Yeah.
So other than waiting to see the transcript, there's no other way to know if you fall into the discretionary band?
Okay, well, there are, and I suppose if any student wants to have a look at the MIC student handbook, I suppose the award classifications are printed quite clearly on the MIC student handbook. And just very quickly, I suppose, on a technicality, a student who achieves a QCA of 3.4 or above, they will be awarded a first class honours degree. A student who achieves a QCA of 3.0 to 3.39, they fall into a second class honours grade 1 award. A student with a QCA of 2.6 to 2.99 achieves a second class honours grade 2 award, and a student who achieves a QCA of 2.0 to 2.59, they achieve a third class honours degree. However, within those specifications or classifications, the Academic Council Examination Board, they may consider a candidate whose final cumulative QCA is not more than 0.1 less than the QCA required for the next highest classification to be awarded that higher classification. Now that kind of sounds really kind of complicated. But to put it simply, if you have, for example, a student with a final cumulative QCA of 3.35, okay, on a technicality or within the bands that I just described, their award is a second class honours grade 1. However, they are less than 0.1 away from the QCA required to attain a first class honours degree. And in that instance, the Academic Council Examination Board can then consider whether the student can attain a first class honours degree or a second class honours degree grade 1 because they fall within that discretionary band. However, it is important to note for students that when a student falls within a discretionary band and they fall into that category, there is a set of criteria that must be satisfied before the student can be awarded a higher classification. And that's why, you know, we can't automatically state, you know, that a student will be or won't be. It goes before the academic Council Examination Board.
Yeah. I think for students to remember as well with discretionary bands that they differ from faculty. So the education faculty and the arts faculty will have completely different discretion. It'll be different discretionary bands. What's the word for it? But they're different. So
criteria.
Criteria. Yeah, So just for students to be made aware of that. So if there's two friends, one's in education faculty, one's in arts, and you know say, oh, maybe I could. You know, maybe I got the same in that, but it could be completely different. So I suppose if you have any questions in relation to your discretionary bands, when you do get your results, the best, I suppose, port of contact will be if it's an education student, contact the education faculty. Would I be correct in saying that? And then for the arts students, contact the arts office, education office and the arts office for them students.
Exactly, or contact SAA at mic.ul.ie.
Yeah.
And again, we can deal with any queries on a case-by-case basis then in that instance.
Brilliant. That's great. That's great information, Michelle. It's all go now coming up to results, and I'm sure students are looking forward to getting the results now on Monday. But I think them questions kind of cover the kind of frequently asked questions that we do get from students. So it's great to have answers for them. And like you said at the beginning of this, Michelle, all the links that Michelle has explained will be given at the bottom of this video. And you can click into the links, so ranging from passwords to emails for people you need to contact. It'll all be there. So if you haven't got everything from this video, don't worry, the information will be below this. So I just want to send a big thanks to Michelle for your time today and answering all them questions, and to wish Aoife the best of luck in her term of office starting on Monday the 21st. So Aoife, students will get to know you as the weeks go on. Absolutely. But that should be the first point of contact in the union for any academic queries. But just thanks to both of you for joining me today. It's been really appreciated, and I'm sure students will get a lot of information from this session. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.